These 5 pentatonic patterns cover both our major and our minor scales using caged. So let's see how. So here are our major patterns to the shapes, and now adding their root notes. Now watch this. Same pattern order, but now they are our minor patterns with their root notes. Again, the major and the minor. We have doubled the patterns to 10 just using only 5 patterns. So let's compare each one individually. When using this pattern, the major is the C shape and the minor the A shape. Using this pattern, the major is the A shape and the minor the G shape. When using this pattern, the major is the G shape and the minor the E shape. This pattern, the major is the E shape and the minor is the D shape. And this pattern, the major is the D shape and the minor is the C shape. To navigate around the fretboard with these patterns, root notes and cage shapes, it's handy to have 3 simple tools. Firstly, matching the shapes to the string. We all know the acronym Eddie Ate Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie to know the string names. Well, cage can be seen right there in the strings, only the B string is the odd one out. So when thinking caged, we can use the acronym Eddie Ate Dynamite, Good Choice Eddie. The second tool is using the letters of caged as an alphabet, and the third tool, just the basic musical alphabet. So we'll pick one pattern from the 5 to show some practical ways of using the shapes to patterns in getting around the fretboard. Using our easy pattern as the minor scale, the root notes will be on the E strings as it's the E shape. Now the caged alphabet will also tell us there's a root note on the D string because D comes after E. So whatever pattern shape you use in finding the root notes, the answer is in the shape to the string and the letter that follows it. So let's put this to the test and also gather some of the practical ways we can use a pattern. One way is the 3-fret up or down rule that will give us the major and minor scale in the same key. Here we have our A minor pentatonic scale on the 5th fret using the E shape. Move the pattern up 3 frets, and now it's a major using the G shape. Going back to the info we use for this pattern. Now that we're in the pattern for A major, we can now use our second way to use a pattern by using the relative minor of a major, using the same pattern, same notes, same position, different key. We can use the scale chart to find the 6th note of the 1 chord, or just use the cage shapes to do it for us. As the G shape equals the E minor shape, we can see that it is the F sharp. Going down the E string using the musical alphabet. And now we can play the F sharp minor pentatonic. Now let's use the A minor pattern back on the 5th fret to find the relative major of a minor. We transfer the pattern and notes across and we find it's the C major scale, as the G major shape equals the E minor shape. The root note will be on the G string and followed by E on the E strings for that shape. So by knowing the pattern and the major and minor shape formula, we have found the relative major of the minor, the relative minor of the major, and locating the major and minor pattern in the same key. Now we'll move on to the third way of matching the major and minor of this pattern. As this is in the G-shaped scale, the corresponding pattern in minor will be our second easy pattern. So we'll place our easy pattern on the 5th fret to be in the C major pentatonic and the second easy pattern for C minor pentatonic using our G-shaped scales. Watch this. Now we'll move our second easy pattern over onto our easy pattern. It now becomes a major identity using the A shape because A comes before G in the caged alphabet. The second easy shape has a A major equals G minor relationship for this pattern. Using these 5 patterns as shapes can help us use the scales, finding the root notes within, using the caged alphabet, and just by knowing the minor and major relationships to the 5 patterns can really help navigate around that fretboard. So, until next time, thanks for watching.